Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great week. Today we are going to talk about tiaras, and I'm going to show you how to make one and what they look like when they're finished. So what you're going to need in order to do this, of course, are your heat gloves, binder clips, any kind, just not too small because they need to be able to clip onto the side of the heat bending tool that will be included in each file. If it's a child tiara, you'll have a child size, and if it's an adult tiara, you'll have an adult size. Of course, you'll need your heat gun. I use the Wagner Furno that has the adjustments here. And for this project, you can actually use your heat press as well. You just have to move quickly when you do use it. So let's go ahead and get started, but just want to show you a couple things. So this is a child-sized tiara, and you'll notice that it's got combs as well as holes. So in the file, you'll have two versions, one with combs and holes, and then one with just holes, like you can see here. The holes you can use for ribbon like this, so that they can be tied on, or you can use for ribbon and bobby pins. It just really depends on the person who's using it. But really, I kind of tend to like this one a little bit more. But of course, this one uses a little less material because you don't have the combs sticking off. So today we're going to start with a very basic low tiara, and I suggest that when you're starting, start with the lower or lower profile tiaras versus the super tall tiaras, because it can get a little it can be a little difficult. So either the low profile or kind of a medium profile like this. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, you'll get this in your file. It's basically 3 layers of a 1/4 inch MDF with 3M on the back. I've included this separate tab so that it will help you align the ovals when you're sticking them together, but it also gives you a nice way to hold the file when you're using it. So let's do it. It doesn't take too long. The larger the tiara, the longer it takes, of course, because you have to heat it. And I like to heat in sections, but let's go ahead and get started. So here I'm going to power on. I use this medium-high setting, and then I put the fan on high. And then I basically just start heating this as I go. Oops, I forgot to punch out a little piece here on this crown. And you'll see here in just a second why we need the clips. Now when you're heating, try to keep your heat focused on the band of the tiara versus on the top, so that the top doesn't get too pliable. But just like every other project that we've done, you want it to be pliable enough to be able to bend it around. So you can see here it's starting to get pliable, and you can tell just by really feeling it as you go. And I would say about halfway across first, and then turn it off. You're going to grab your mold, center it approximately on the front of the mold, and then you're going to basically just start wrapping your tiara around your mold. Now, this can be a little tricky when you are starting to heat it, because you have to hold it while it's still warm. Then I use a clip to sort of keep this piece here attached to the end, okay? So you can see I'm sort of forming the mold here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heat gun, and then I'm gonna start heating the other side of it, okay? And again, this won't take too long, but try to keep your heat focused on the band if you can. And you can use your heat gun to just sort of test the pliability of the acrylic. Now, glitter acrylic does seem to heat a lot faster, but you can see why putting it in a heat press is a little trickier, simply because when you put it in the heat press, you're heating the whole thing at one time. So you need to be able to move quickly. But as you can see, as I heat it, it starts to get pliable. Turn it off. Finish bending it around your thing, your mold, and then put your other clip on it. And then you can see now that you've got the crown shape. It's attached to your mold, and then just let it cool off long enough to allow it to retain its shape. Again, that's it. So when you're doing the taller pieces like this, you just want to be especially careful that you're not heating the top too much, because you don't want it to bend. Even though you could bend back, you don't want it to bend too much. You'll need it to bend enough to make it go around the form. But that is it. So when you're done with that, you can add ribbon here, okay, and just tie it on like this. And you could include that when you sell it, or you could include a little pack of ribbon and bobby pins if you wanted to, and then they can decide how to put that on. Now, sizing wise, I'm including an adult size and a child size, and both of them can be slightly resized. I'd say about an inch or so, so it should be big enough to be adjustable. Now, when you do adjust the size of the tiara, you're also going to need to adjust the size of your form as well. But you know, as you practice, you'll get used to that. But just make sure that you're resizing proportionally. All right. So when it's done cooling off, you're just going to take your clips off, take your mold off, and there's your tiara. And that is it. It's got little holes, and put the ribbon on, and you are all done. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye.